Geeta.
Please unmute, madam. Geeta, madam.
Geeta, unmute yourself.
I'm on mute. I'm sorry. Good evening and welcome to today's lecture meeting on cryptocurrencies and central bank digital currency, trends, issues, and future roadmap. Today, the currency has gone digital and financial services also has gone digital. Hence, we have to update it, and if we have to survive in this world today. I feel that this is going to be the new normal for tomorrow. I eagerly await our erudite speaker for today to throw light on this. It is my pleasure to welcome our MC members, past presidents, HMA members, guests, the participants who are on this platform and also viewing us live, our convener for lecture meetings and also our vice president, Mr. Ramchandar, our secretary, Mr. Dr. Ravi Kumar Jain, welcoming our speaker for today's session, Professor M.K. Bandari, and last but not the least, I welcome our president, Ms. Kavita Rajesh, who I request to take this meeting forward.
Thank you, Geeta, and a warm
Happy Diwali.
Yeah, thank you, Geeta, and for a warm introduction and happy Diwali. And it is truly an honor to have the very eminent speaker for a lecture meeting, and it is truly an honor for HMA to have Mr. M.K. Bandari Garu. And today, cryptocurrency, we are talking about banks are all getting digitalized. Then none of them want to meet their customers. Everything should be online. So, sir, definitely we would love to hear it from you and to talk about Hyderabad Management Association, which is a 57-year-old body, which was formed with few dedicated dedicated professionals of Hyderabad and Secunderabad who felt the need for developing the managerial skills among the executives and spreading the message of professionalism among the practicing managers with the involvement of academia and industry, which is also a need of the day. And to talk about Hyderabad Management Association, it was, as I said, it is a professional body which connects the academicians and management students to stay abreast of the contemporary management practices and events shaping the professionals and emerging challenges. We do plethora of activities like lecture meetings right now, like what we're doing, sir. And we also do SGPs, FDPs, developing student development programs. We also do faculty development programs, management development programs. And also we conduct various convocations, and we also do various events with other institutions in partnering with them. Apart from that, we also started a certificate program in connecting with the management colleges across, and we are doing an industry readiness program, which would be the third batch would be we are going to start with, and I request in case somebody is interested. And it is the finest connect with the academia and institution to build in the knowledge what the industry needs. So we are tuning up to that. We are training the students of today for future tomorrow, what industry needs. Apart from that, we have started various initiations at HMA this year, and like MSME Desk, where we are connecting all the small scale industries through providing them access to capital and access. We are networking with all the organizations across to help them to reach, and also we are collaborating with mentoring institutions also, where they can be mentored and handled. And today, because startups are also looking forward for a collaboration, so we are trying to bridge that gap. We also started the social impact desk, where we are trying to address the major issues across through the impact desk of HMA. And we also started an international desk where we are connecting students across through the consulates across with various countries for their internships, and apart from business opportunity for SMEs also. So Hyderabad Management Association is affiliated to All India Management Association, New Delhi, and I'm an associate with HMA to conduct regular and joint programs. HMA, as a professional organization in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, instituted an annual award in the year 1973 called Manager of the Year Award to recognize the managers of outstanding achievement, as well as their contribution to the organization he or she heads. So this is in nutshell about HMA, sir. Thank you, and truly a delightful evening for us to know from an expert like you. And I would request our Vice President Ramchandra Garu to please introduce the speaker, and I'm sure it will be a power-packed session today. Thank you, sir. Ramchandra Garu.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. I think you have put the entire HMA in a very small nutshell, and talked about how HMA has been trying to propagate the philosophy of management in different aspects, be it to the industrialists, to the business people, to the practicing managers, or even to the academy. And I'm really happy to extend the words what she mentioned, that all through these sort of activities were possible because of successful presidents who had great commitment and a good managing team, which really helped in pushing these particular activities every time, raising the notch a little higher each year. And I really feel very happy about my being associated also with HMA. And today, in the same sort of, endeavor, we brought Dr. Professor Bhandari-ji, who would probably be talking on a topic which probably many of us probably will find it a little new. But nevertheless, I think this is a topic today, it's a raging topic. I was really surprised when I noticed that the price of a Bitcoin, how it is soaring, and how it is soaring into few lakhs, not just in numbers, small numbers. And this is, I think, probably the new normal. Perhaps it's going to be a new normal. Dr. Bhandari, I think, to introduce his credentials, he has been a person of a very high stature, especially as Dr. Jain was saying a few minutes ago, that he was a person who was specializing in law. And he has done his PhD from University of Jodhpur, in Jodhpur. And then later on had been in a very high positions as a director legal in Narsi Monji Institute of Management Studies, Mumbai, which is a deemed university. And then even he had a stint at Amity University, Unison University at Dehradun. And he was a dean and head faculty of law in the JNV University, and been visiting faculty in several places, including the University in Assam. Apart from that, he has been in as a member in several academic institutions. And one of the notable contribution which I noticed was that he has written a book on blockchain technology, which is the basis for today's Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency. And he is a regular writer in several columns, and he writes on the intellectual property rights, plus on the Gujarat Law Digest. And in addition to that, several editorial assignments in various forums, legal forums. He has been a recipient of several awards, not only in India, but internationally. And today, now, he has been really focusing on this Bitcoin, which I think probably still there are several things. There are nuances in that. There are myths in that. There are some sort of mysteries in that. And how really it is going to really add value today to the finance system, not only the finance system. I think the Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency will have its say in almost every field of every walks of life. Sir, we are very eagerly looking, as Madam was rightly saying, we're looking forward to listen to your valuable talk. And at the end of the day, I'm sure all of us will be enriched, and surely will be having a different viewpoint, and will be probably looking at this with a more clear clarity. With these few words, I pass on the baton to Dr. Bhandari ji, and may I request you, sir, to please take over. And really, we feel honored for your gracious presence. Thank you, sir. Unmute, sir. Unmute Bhandari ji.
Good evening, one and all. Thank you, Ramchandra Garu, for your gracious introduction. You have missed one line, which let me supply, that besides a teacher for last 44 years, I am first a student, and I am a lifelong learner. And it is this process or journey of learning that I have tried to explore subject in an area like blockchain technology, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrencies, which was hitherto unknown to me 4 years back. It is really my privilege and pleasure to join this august gathering of HMA, which is itself a leading industry, academia, collaborative peer institute association. And I have learned from Kavita ma'am about the various activities and programs being undertaken by HMA. And certainly, I would feel happy and would love to associate myself with HMA in whatever capacity I may contribute. Now, friends, today we are going to discuss some basic and fundamental issues about cryptocurrencies and central bank digital currency and its various interconnected issues and where the future lies. Let me tell you, can you please share, can I share a screen?
You can, sir.
Let me connect with my screen. Just a minute, please bear with me. Is opening. Well, meanwhile, let me share with you that we are passing through still, although the rigor of COVID has largely been diluted, we have to be cautious and careful in our day-to-day life. During this COVID situation, it is the internet and internet-enabled services that has kept us moving on and that has allowed us to continue with our journey of learning and teaching. Now, we are going to discuss a topic, as I said, about the cryptocurrencies. Friends, every day I am getting a pop-up of admit. I think you can please. Yeah. Friends, every day or every alternate day, when we open our newspapers or the channels, we listen something about the cryptocurrencies and especially about the Bitcoin, its pricing, and various unpleasant news like frauds, cyber frauds, heist of Bitcoin, ransomware attack and demand for Bitcoin, and the governmental response of proposed banning of cryptocurrencies and launch of official digital currency. So then every day we find that the Bitcoin has either gone very high or it has come down, and the price variation of one Bitcoin vis-a-vis US dollar or Indian rupee varies very high. Very highly speculative trends are going on. That naturally makes us think about what is the cryptocurrency? What is the Bitcoin? Why there is so much movement and so much activities, good or bad, about these cryptocurrencies? And what are the major issues which we must understand, even if those who are interested in investing or exploring the earning of fortune should properly know the nature, the risk associated with it, and what are the precautions one should take. So let me start with the my today's lecture, though it is much loaded, but within the available time frame, I shall try to share with you the as much as possible information, and also we will have some time for discussion so that I can learn from you and I can know about your response. So with this, I'm starting my presentation. Is it visible to everyone's
open.
screen?
So it has open, sir. You are able to see your.
Yeah. So our today's topic is cryptocurrencies and central bank digital currencies, trends, issues, and future roadmap, as it has already been intimated to you. And this, what I am going to discuss is what is cryptocurrencies, what are the fundamentals, how cryptocurrency is created, that is known as mining of cryptocurrency. Then crypto versus fiat currency. Currently,
Sir,
as of
sir, excuse me, sir. We are not able to see the PowerPoint.
you are not able to see.
No, sir. No. Only you are able to see your screen. That's all.
Why it is visible here?
Please once again redo it, sir.
Please see with your technical team. It is visible at my end.
Karthik, please.
Sir, you need to relaunch, sir, actually.
I need to
Relaunch that.
relaunch.
Again, open the file.
Okay. Okay. My screen is visible to you?
Sir,
Only,
you stop sharing first, then again start the sharing, sir.
Stop sharing. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Now you
sharing.
have
Okay.
just go to that file and open it, sir.
That file is not visible here. My screen is visible to you?
Your screen is visible, sir, not the presentation.
not the PowerPoint.
Let me open it. Let me open it. Is it visible now?
No, sir. No, not yet.
Now?
No, sir. No.
Why then it is?
Maybe you do it again, sir. Redo it, please.
We'll waste our time.
Sir, can you share with me, sir?
Screen share, correct?
Yes.
Now?
Yeah.
Perfect, sir.
Fine?
Yes, it's good, sir. Yes.
Now it's fine. Is it visible to all?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And I am audible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me quickly share with you the major issues which I am going to cover in today's lecture. First of all, let us understand what is cryptocurrency, how it is created, or what we call in technical language mining of cryptocurrency. Then crypto versus fiat currency, because currently we are using only fiat currency that is in the physical form. How it is different with the cryptocurrency? What are the current trends about the adoption, trading, and valuation of the cryptocurrencies globally and with reference to India? What role of cryptocurrencies in global financial and economic system? Then we will come to the another major issue, major regulatory issues. Here, because it is a new financial instrument, in the virtual mode, and as of now, specifically in India and across the world, there is a regulatory uncertainty. Very few, 2 or 3 countries, they have framed some regulations, but still the world is grappling with framing or creating a proper regulatory framework. Then what are the major challenges and concerns? After that, I will move on to the central bank digital currency, which is sometimes or very often equated with the cryptocurrency, which is not. It is a digital version. Central bank digital currency is a digital version of fiat currency. So a lot of countries, including India, they are now experimenting with the pilot project of launching the digital currency, official digital currency, and what are the issues associated with that we will discuss. Is there any correlation or similarity or dissimilarity between CBDC and cryptocurrency? And finally, we will come out with certain suggestions and future roadmap. So let me, this is broad scheme of my today's lecture, and I'll try to cover them. And whatever queries or response you have, please, you can record in the chat box also, or you can note down, and later, as per the organizers' plan, we will have discussion on it. So let me first give
So
my
your point of asking all to please put in the chat box would be very correct, sir. I'll request all to kindly put their questions in the chat box.
So yes, the coordinator will take those questions and I will be happy to respond. Okay, so friends, let me start first. What is cryptocurrency? Generally, we understand when we talk of cryptocurrency, we talk about the Bitcoin. Bitcoin is one of the leader of cryptocurrency, most valuable cryptocurrency, which was first mined. So there are a number of other cryptocurrencies. It is nothing but a digital or virtual currency that is secured by cryptography. Cryptography, we know, is a technique, is a technology whereby the safety and security of the contents is ensured, which makes it nearly impossible to counterfeit or double spend. You cannot use one Bitcoin or one particular cryptocurrency twice. So the possibility of fraud is practically eliminated. There are many currencies which are created on the network, which is known as blockchain technology. I will briefly discuss later in the series what is blockchain technology. We can say the blockchain technology is the mother of Bitcoin or mother of cryptocurrencies. That is the technology with that the cryptocurrencies are created or are mined. It is a distributed ledger enforced through the network of computer. I will come to that soon. The defining feature of cryptocurrency is that they are generally not issued by any central authority, rendering them theoretically immune to governmental interference or manipulation. Please remember 2008 financial meltdown world over, specifically in USA, when large banks, they by issuing subprime loans and number of major corporate giants, they tumbled down because of the financial profligacy of the financial institutions. And it is at that time that one person or institution we still do not know, Satoshi Nakamoto, he came out with a technology which is known as blockchain technology, and he provided in his white paper a complete roadmap, a protocol, how to create cryptocurrency, that is Bitcoin. So because it has been felt, and we also know today we are facing the problem of bad loans, defaulters are, they douse the law, they run away, and banks have been granting such loans without making due diligence. Maybe sometimes it is a political connivance or connivance of few people. There are other lot of factors. But the issue is that how much governmental interference is good, and whether the governmental or institutional control has led to financial frauds. So in that background, the origin of cryptocurrency has, or the birth of cryptocurrency has taken place.
Sir, can you put it on full screen, sir? Sorry to interrupt, sir. You can just
Can
put
we?
it in the full screen mode.
It is not in full screen mode.
No, here, put it on, yes. No, at the bottom we have to, the funnel, bottom funnel. Bottom funnels. There's a funnel at the bottom, just click on it, it will give the full screen mode.
Where?
On the bar strip, the last strip, sir, in the toolbar, last toolbar.
Toolbar, there is a.
Or you can F5, you can press F5 also. F5.
F5. Okay.
I think not working.
Is it working?
No,
It's
sir.
not
Actually,
working.
on the last toolbar, you can see an inverted cone, inverted cup. You can just click on it.
Is it okay?
At the bottom toolbar, sir, you can see the bottom toolbar. You can see a cup-like thing. You know.
I'm not able to.
Okay, sir. Please go ahead. So it's okay. We'll manage.
Is it not visible clearly?
If you do that in full screen, it'll expand and you'll have a better view.
I know, but I'm not able to locate and do it from my end. If you can do it, otherwise please bear with me.
Go ahead, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Because I don't want to further disturb it. Otherwise, our lecture will get affected. Well, as I said you, the cryptocurrency is a virtual or digital currency created by use of blockchain technology. That is the mother of cryptocurrency, whether it is a Bitcoin or any other altcoin. Other than Bitcoin, other cryptocurrencies are known as altcoin. Now, the first blockchain-based cryptocurrency, I'm getting pop-up of admit. So it is diverting my attention.
So since you are a co-host, sir, whenever a new entry is there into the system, it will pop up there.
Okay, fine. So the first blockchain-based cryptocurrency was Bitcoin, as I said, and this is still, as of date, it is most popular and most valuable cryptocurrency. As of today, the price of one Bitcoin is nearly 62,000 US dollar. And if you multiply with 75 rupees, $1 it comes to close to 45 lakh rupees. It varies from, it has gone down up to 30,000 US dollar 3-4 months back. Again, it has bounced to 60,000+ US dollar. So that is again a cause of worry for a normal investor. So it is most important cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. There is another lighter version of Bitcoin that is known as Bitcoin Cash. Then there are other cryptocurrencies. It is generally said that there are as many as 5,000 cryptocurrencies such as Ethereum, Ripple, Dogecoin, Cardano, and so many. I'll later on show you the comparative chart. But still the Bitcoin is the leader. Now this Bitcoin was launched officially in 2009 by a pseudonymous person or institution. Still, it is a big challenge for our science and technology that we could not trace out the real identity of the person, whether it is an individual person or a group of persons or some institutions behind this technology who has coined or who has created the Bitcoin. Today, by edge of August 21, this is now the figures are changing, 18.8 million Bitcoins have been mined and they are in circulation. And as I said, one Bitcoin as of today is worth 62,000, close to 62,000 US dollar. You can multiply its valuation. It is more than, say, almost 2 trillion US dollar. And the figure is varying and updating. As I said, we have to briefly understand what is blockchain technology before we further come to cryptocurrencies and its other issues. As I said, blockchain technology is the mother of all cryptocurrencies. But today, blockchain technology is not just confined to mining of Bitcoin. It is one of the first major application of the technology, but then there are a number of other applications. It is also known as distributed ledger technology, DLT. And as I said, in 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto published a Bitcoin white paper, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Exactly, it was released from his mail ID on 31st October 2008. And in this paper, it's a Bitcoin protocol, the complete detail how the Bitcoin will be mined. And looking to its programming, the limit of Bitcoin has been fixed up to 21 million Bitcoins. After that, and out of 21 million, close to 19 million Bitcoins have already been mined. Therefore, it's due to limited supply, as we know in economics, demand and supply dynamics, Bitcoin become one of the most expensive cryptocurrency. And first Bitcoin was mined by him in February 2009. And interestingly, when he mined first Bitcoin, the person who got it, he purchased one pizza in USA by paying that Bitcoin. So that is known as pizza Bitcoin. So now the value of that same Bitcoin is more than 60,000 US dollar, or in terms of Indian rupees, close to 43-44 lakh rupees. Now, what is basic features of blockchain technology? Blockchain technology is a distributed, decentralized digital ledger, which runs on all the nodes which become part of it. So first thing is decentralized. No central authority controls the blockchain technology. It is a distributed, decentralized technology. You and me can join a blockchain platform and become part of that and start working on that, or even start mining of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, though it is not that simple. It is a digital ledger of record. It is chronologically created and time stamped, because all blocks which are created, they are time stamped, the contents are cryptographed, and they are identified, or they are saved with a typical hash, 64 letters hash. That hash has to be confirmed before another block is created. And all blocks which are created, they are interconnected. So from Genesis block, the first block, all blocks created subsequently are interconnected. So from the first Genesis block, we can trace the history of record. Then, since it is cryptographed, time stamped, and protected by a typical hash which cannot be altered, moment anybody tries to interfere, as we find in government records, people tamper with the record, tamper with the name. Even in university degrees, we find that marks are tampered, names are tampered, bogus certificates are issued. That is absolutely not possible if we put all that record in blockchain technology, because every block is in block, you can add as much as information, but that block will have a specific typical hash. And if anybody tries to disturb or tamper with that block, the hash will change. And unless the hash is verified, new block will not be created. So because it is not controlled by any centralized authority, therefore we also call it as a trustless. The trust here is not a governmental body. For banking transactions, we trust our bank. We trust Reserve Bank of India, that is a peer body. For other governmental record, we trust the specific department of the government, but it is a trustless. And the trust is created because it is transparent. The information, the record is available at everybody's node. So nobody can tamper it. Therefore, we call it as a transparent, verifiable, cryptographically secure, immutable, and non-repudiable. Well, as I said, you cannot change the hash. If you start changing the hash, then the block will not be approved, and the further block will not be created. And as I said, it is distributed in the sense that it is distributed across all the nodes. A block is created and it is distributed across all the computers who have joined that block, who have joined that blockchain program. And it is available, anybody can see it. And if anybody tries to tamper with it, it is not possible. So these are the major features of this technology, which make it a very important future technology. And now we can also see a brief flow chart, how it works. As I mentioned, a transaction is requested, a block is first Genesis block is created, it is time stamped, it is protected by cryptography, and there is a 64-letter hash is generated. That is a typical to each block. Then the transaction is floated on all the nodes, peer-to-peer network, that is known as nodes. We call them nodes. So there may be 1,000 nodes, there may be 1 lakh nodes, there may be 50 nodes. Then that network of nodes use known algorithms to validate the transactions. That transaction is validated. That yes, it's a valid transaction, and the hash cannot be changed. The contents cannot be changed. Sometimes the immutability of the block also is a restriction, is also a challenge, because once a record has been put on the blockchain, it cannot be reversed. It cannot be deleted. In case of mails or other record, we can delete them. But a record which has been entered into the block and blockchain has been made, that is why it is known as blockchain technology. It cannot be altered, it cannot be deleted. Verified transaction can involve cryptocurrency, contracts, record, or other information. As I said, it is not only the cryptocurrency, but there are a number of other use cases. I'll shortly show you quickly that it is used for identity management, it is used for protection of intellectual properties, it is used for recording government records, it is used in educational sectors, it is used in healthcare sector. So there are multiple uses of the blockchain technology. The essence being that it is decentralized, distributed, immutable, and transparent, because it is available to all. The transaction is combined with other transactions once verified to create a new block or data of the ledger. That data of the ledger is known as block. And that new block is added to the existing block. So a blockchain is created and the transaction is completed. Again, a new block will be created, will be validated and added to this goes on. There are certain softwares, there are a number of softwares, blockchain softwares like Corda, IBM blockchain, Hyperledger, Ethereum, Consensus, multi-chain, depending upon the use of the blockchain on which the blockchain applications are done. For mining of cryptocurrencies, again, there are certain softwares like NiceHash. They run on cloud mining, Sham mining, ECOS, CG Miner, BMine. There are a number of such softwares which you can download, you can subscribe, and you can start using blockchain in your enterprise, in your business, depending upon your requirement. Now, let me tell you, as I said, blockchain is not just for mining of cryptocurrencies. Definitely, that is most popular and most sought for use of the blockchain technology. But now, during last 10 years, since 2009, when the first blockchain application was launched for mining Bitcoin, there are a number of areas These are the governmental areas, but then other than that, legal enforcement, the Smart Dubai program, Smart Dubai project, I had the opportunity of visiting Dubai in 2019 and had an opportunity of meeting Mr. Kapoor. He's an Indian guy looking after the smart city, Smart Dubai project. They are using blockchain technology for recording evidence in administration of justice, because once the evidence is recorded, it becomes foolproof. All judgments are put on the blockchain. Taxation, security and safety, cyber protection, healthcare services, health record of the patients or customers are recorded and they can be easily shared. Digital identity, as per the record, still in the world, large number of population is without identity recognition. That problem can be solved by providing them digital identity using blockchain. Welfare distribution. UNICEF is leading a pilot project for distribution of the various funds to African and Asian countries using cryptocurrencies through blockchain platform. Bill and payments, legislative record, and other land records and other issues. So we have to understand that blockchain is not about mining or creation of cryptocurrency. It is much more a progressive technology which is being used for multi-purpose in industry, trade, banking, and the whole lot of financial technology, what we popularly call as fintech, is developing around blockchain, interoperable with artificial intelligence, machine learning. These are the supportive IoT, where the smart city projects are being used. So blockchain technology has a much larger application. But here, having said that, we will come back to our major topic. Let me say here, we are conducting programs, workshops, trainings, certification courses on each of these topics: blockchain, and then cryptocurrencies, then blockchain and artificial intelligence, data protection, data privacy. These are the number of smart contracts is another major area of blockchain technology. Ethereum blockchain is used for running smart contracts. That is a new age contract system. So these are many issues. It will not be proper to cover them and not possible to cover them. Let me come to next point. Crypto versus fiat. Yes. We are currently using, the world over, we are using fiat currency. And the fiat currency is one which is issued, controlled, and regulated by central authority, whether it is a Fed in USA or Reserve Bank of India in India or any other central bank which controls the fiat currency. Of course, after demonetization, the use of fiat currency through digital payment has been encouraged, like Paytm or Phone Pay or so many applications where we are using payment of fiat currency through digital mode. But digital currency is, as of now, the most important centrally controlled regulated currency, whereas cryptocurrency, which is a new age financial instrument, which has come just 10 years, 11 years back, is a decentralized, out of control of any central authority. So let me just quickly share with you what are the basic differences. Inception, as I said, the government issues fiat currency taking into consideration the country's economic stability and supply and demand. The central bank can hold or print more notes as and when needed. So it is the central bank which controls the circulation or production of fiat currency, whereas cryptocurrency is created or as I said, proper word is mined digitally using decentralized computing system, that is blockchain. Unlike fiat money, where one single entity control, regulate and print the money, cryptocurrencies are mined using a complex mathematical process. Sorry. Mining of cryptocurrency is not that simple as I have shown you in the program. It requires a lot of mining farms, lot of investment, because every 10 minutes, one block is validated out of series of blocks. And that one block which is validated, there is a reward of now after Bitcoin halving 6.25 Bitcoin for one validation of a block. So this is a complex process, and there are big mining farms. There are rigs, mining rigs, and the Bitcoins are created. However, a common man can definitely go into the Bitcoin or cryptocurrency by investing through the exchanges, trade exchanges, crypto exchanges. So transaction, fiat money is heavily regulated, as I said. Cryptocurrency on the other end are universally accepted. It is peer-to-peer transfer. There is no central authority involved in between. If we have to send money, dollar, to our relative or friend, we have to use the banking services or authorized money exchange platforms. And for that, we have to pay heavy fee. And it takes time to reach, although some processes are there. And the Visa and MasterCard, they process very fast. But in cryptocurrencies, since there is no central authority involved and it is peer-to-peer, so transaction takes instantly, and the value of the amount is universally same. Bitcoin in India and Bitcoin in USA is the same value. So that is second point. Supply, third point. Fiat money is essentially printed according to government discretion. Therefore, its limit is endless. And we have seen the countries like Venezuela or the El Salvador, which has now legalized Bitcoin, they have their value, money value, their currency value as heavily devalued because they have printed the currency, their currency, without following the norms of currency valuation. So, because it is the government which can print. In India also, we have seen that government, whenever need money, they print the notes, and the consequential effect is that devaluation of money takes place. So there is a certain currency policy, the security and the reserve, requirement of reserve to maintain the currency value. But cryptocurrency can be limited or unlimited, depending upon whether they have a limited programming. As I said, why Bitcoin is important or valuable? Because it is a limited circulation, limited creation. Whereas other cryptocurrencies, they are programmed in such a way that n number of crypto tokens can be mined or circulated. Therefore, they don't have that much of the value. Tangibility. Paper notes and coins are tangible. They are physically exist. And of course, whatever transactions we do on digital platforms, but at the end, the currency is available in digital form, in physical form. And now the government is coming out with digital version of the fiat currency. Government world over are now planning, and some of them have also launched the digital currency, that is central bank digital currency. It is nothing but a replica, a digital replica of the fiat currency. It is not a cryptocurrency, but cryptocurrency exists only digitally. There is no physical shape. You will never see the shape of Bitcoin. Whatever images we show here, they are just representational images. They are simply a computer code, unique computer code, which is stored in our wallet or through the exchange, but there is no physical shape of the cryptocurrency. It is a virtual, it is a digital currency. As I said, it exists in the form of paper notes and coins. Credit and debit cards are electronic equivalent of fiat currency. In cryptocurrencies, they are represented by a public key. Hello. Hello. Is there any? Am I audible to all? And is it going on?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. So for cryptocurrency, we have to understand that if you store cryptocurrency in your wallets, then there is one public key that is just like your mail ID, which we can share with anybody. And there is a password which should be very strong and unique, because that is the main safety feature that is known as private key, where you can store your cryptocurrency, or you can see the cryptocurrency in your balance. Storage. Fiat currency is usually kept secured at financial institutions with the help of bank account number. Here, our currency is in bank accounts, and banks are custodian of those bank accounts, but cryptocurrencies are stored in wallets or through exchanges, and they can exist, wallets can exist both offline and online. I'll come to that later. Transparency. Now, the basic thing which goes in favor of cryptocurrency, and again, I would say it is a debatable, it's not the final word. In our financial system, we have seen, as I mentioned, 2008 financial debacle, global financial meltdown, that financial institutions, they do not act transparently or fairly, and their operations are opaque. Therefore, now the banks are also, as a part of the fintech movement, they are also adopting blockchain technology for granting loans, for verification of documents. So one person cannot mortgage papers with one and a copy of others and secure loans from other banks. All these experience has shown that blockchain technology, a banking consortium has been created to use blockchain technology for validation or for cross verification of record. So in fiat money, we find that the central authority controls it, and the operations are most of the time opaque, not that transparent as they ought to be. But in blockchain network, every single transaction is recorded, and there is a genesis, there is a continuous link of every transaction, and the possibility of double spend and manipulation is practically ruled out. There are some other issues, but it is practically ruled out.
Go on, bad.
Okay, now having said that, I'll come to some trends about cryptocurrencies to understand how cryptocurrencies are being adopted and how they are playing a significant role in global financial system. As of now, a little over 1 in 10, that is 11.4 adults own crypto. Whatever crypto they may own, that shows that there is an inclusion. The people are developing interest in cryptocurrencies. Here we find that Nigeria, Malaysia, Australia, they have highest rate of cryptocurrency ownership. US ranking in 10th place. US, which is the leader, global leader, is still lagging behind in comparison to Malaysia, Australia, and Nigeria. Japan still has the lowest adoption of cryptocurrencies. Out of the cryptocurrency adoption, we find that Bitcoin dominates all the cryptocurrencies world over. And if we examine from a gender perspective, men are advanced in comparison to women. They are 1.4 times more likely to own cryptocurrency than women. This is a study I have collected Now, this chart is important and it will give you a fair idea. Percentage of people who own cryptocurrency by country. Here you will find Nigeria is 24%. How much is Bitcoin? 16%. Bitcoin, Ethereum 5.8%. Cardano 2.8%. Binance Coin, that is a coin developed by Binance Exchange. Dogecoin, which is currently very popular now. So this is a country-wise table, and you will find Japan at the lowest and India at this 7th rank in crypto adoption. Although we don't have a clear regulatory framework, and still the people in India are adopting or playing in crypto. As I said, if we highlight the Indian crypto trends, it is 7th highest in cryptocurrency ownership. 57% of that is in Bitcoin and 22.6% of that is in Ethereum. That is second most valuable cryptocurrency. But you will be surprised to know that when the price of Bitcoin is close to 62,000 US dollars, whereas Ethereum, I'm getting some noise, please. Can you please check that?
Sir, please, all of you, please mute. Satyanarayana Garu, please mute, sir. Yeah.
It is distracting my. I'll be thankful if,
Okay, now it's okay.
yeah. So you will note that the price of Ethereum in comparison to the Bitcoin is just now, earlier it was just $20, $30, $40. Now it is close to $200. Whereas the Bitcoin price is more than 60,000. Of course, it is varying every day. So in India also what we find is post Supreme Court judgment, I will refer to that, the crypto adoption is becoming faster. More and more people are showing interest in crypto trading. Now, let us see, these are the major companies globally which are accepting cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin. Now you name all the major currencies, the list is here, Microsoft, Tesla, Elon Musk has declared that it will accept Bitcoin for purchase of its electrical vehicle. Wikipedia, AT&T, the communication giant, Burger King, PayPal, KFC, Overstock, Subway, Pizza Hut, they are food joinery. Virgin Galactic, they are booking tickets for space travel with the help of Bitcoin. Norwegian Airline, they are accepting Bitcoin for booking of air tickets. And Amazon is not directly accepting, but it allows a purse wherein you can put Bitcoin and that will be converted into the fiat currency, and they will provide you the access to the goods and supply you the goods. Other than that, there are many other medium and small companies. You will find payment, infrastructure, applications, data, investment, financial services. These are some global known players who also accept Bitcoin. It indicates that gradually the cryptocurrencies and specifically Bitcoin is gaining recognition, global recognition and acceptance. That is the inference or conclusion we can draw. Now, let me share with you, there are major global and Indian exchanges which through which one can deal, trade or invest in Bitcoin, as I said, or cryptocurrency as a whole. As I said, there are two ways of getting cryptocurrency. One is mining, which is probably not possible for an average individual because it requires huge investment, and the possibility of getting a reward of mining with limited resources of computing power is very less. If you have a large computing power, then probably you may mine, and then cost of mining and other related issues are also important. The another way is that you can directly trade, purchase, invest, sell, resell the cryptocurrencies, and these are the exchanges, because it is a peer-to-peer. You can globally trade with any of the exchanges. Binance is the leader with 10% of share. Coinbase, OKX, Uniswap. They are specifically in Ethereum. There are many such. I have simply jotted down 4 major crypto exchanges where one can trade, they can open the account, they follow all the KYC norms, and you are allotted a wallet wherein your crypto assets are stored, and you can trade them, you can transfer them, you can sell them. In India also, we have some leading crypto exchanges such as WazirX, JetPay. Recently, you must have heard the WazirX, there was a income tax raid because there were some clues that they are engaged in money laundering. So some exchanges, although there is a consortium of Indian exchanges, blockchain and crypto council, they always argue that we are ready to follow the governmental regulations and we are ready to have our own code of conduct to avoid malpractices or fraudulent practices in the crypto exchange, crypto dealings. So these are some CoinSecure, CoinSwitch, Thoughtbit, BTCX India, CoinEx. There are other also, but again, I have identified few leading exchanges where one can, if one is interested, one can. Now there are crypto wallets. How you will store? Crypto wallets are necessary for buying, trading, and selling cryptocurrencies. You need your, as you need your email account. Likewise, if you are dealing in cryptocurrencies, whatever the cryptocurrency may be, you need a wallet. And these wallets are offline wallets as well as online wallets, and both have their own merits and demerits. I will not go into details of that. These are some of the wallets. Electrum, it is considered as best for Bitcoin trading. Coinbase, best for beginners. Mycelium, best for mobile application. Ledger Nano X, best for offline crypto wallet, because in online crypto wallet, you are always susceptible to the hacking, cyber threats. But in offline crypto wallet, that is known as cold crypto wallet, your assets are relatively safer. But again, in a case of transaction, you have to come to the hot wallet or online wallet. So these are little technical issues, and anyone who is willing must make due diligence, proper understanding, and then only it is advisable that one should deal with that. Now I'm coming to legal and other issues. The recognition of cryptocurrency is gradually increasing. Now here is a global infographic where you will find that one is prohibited, unfavorable, favorable, mostly favorable, favorable, and legalized. So far as legalized is concerned, only Japan and Malta and El Salvador, they have declared, even El Salvador has declared the Bitcoin as an official tender. So now for El Salvador, but El Salvador is a very small, tiny country, and it cannot be a leader, or it cannot be a example for other countries. But in other countries, we find major countries like Russia and other, the gaining recognition is increasing. In India, we can say we are still neutral. We are neither supportive nor opposing, because the proposed bill of banning cryptocurrency has not yet been enacted. So as long as the bill has not been passed into act, we cannot say that crypto dealing in India is illegal. So still, and the development which are going on, the statement which are coming from the peer body like RBI, that they are seriously considering, the Subhas Garg committee, they say that we are considering to regulate the cryptocurrencies, not banning the cryptocurrencies. Initially, the approach was hostile, but after Supreme Court judgment in 2020, the approach has become little diluted, and the government is in mood of properly regulating. But what will be the regulations? These are the issues which we have to understand. Please let me know how much time I will have at my disposal now.
You can please go ahead, sir. You can still.
For next 15 minutes?
Yes, sir, please. I think
Is it okay for all?
I'm sure hopefully all the audience will agree with me, sir. We can probably go ahead for another.
Okay. Now the first thing is that whether cryptocurrency, the term, the nomenclature, currency is proper for crypto. Are they assets, digital assets? The debate is going on world over. Is it a commodity like gold? Is it a goods coming under the sale of goods, digital asset? Is it a private money because it is not backed or supported or issued by any centralized authority of the state? So is it a private money playing between individuals? And is it a mode of payment or medium of exchange? Yes, it is. It has been accepted as a mode of payment and medium of exchange. You can convert your Bitcoin into the dollar or dollar into the Bitcoin, or you can pay rupee and purchase the Bitcoin. Now it is permissible. Earlier, the government put the RBI imposed a ban, which has been turned down by the Supreme Court. I'll briefly come to that. But it is gaining the ground. In India specifically, the government and the stock exchanges, they are coming, the RBI and the stock exchanges, they are coming on a common ground that we can recognize cryptocurrencies as commodity, and they can be regulated by stock exchanges like commodity or like shares or so in world over, if we see in America, there is a mixed reaction. They are treated as commodity for certain purposes. They are treated as goods for certain purposes covered under the Sale of Goods Act, and the Security Exchange Commission, SEC of USA, they deal with it as a commodity. Because how we deal with the cryptocurrencies or crypto assets, I would say, depends upon its recognition and subsequent taxation and other transfer of cryptocurrency, holding of cryptocurrencies, all will depend upon that. In India, if we go by the constitutional scheme, entry 36 of the union list, in 7th schedule, there are three lists: union list, state list, and concurrent list. The subjects which are there in the union list, exclusively the central government, the parliament can make the law. So the currency, the term currency is at entry 36 of union list. That means only the central government has the sovereign right, the parliament has the sovereign right to legislate on the currency. One cannot come out with a private currency. Any private currency will be illegal. So either it can be a commodity like gold. Bitcoin is also known as, another name of Bitcoin is digital gold. So either it can be recognized as gold or as a digital asset, but to term it as a currency is still not acceptable to the government. And the deliberations are going on how to classify the cryptocurrencies. This debate is going on, so I cannot say take a final call on that. Now, as I mentioned, the Supreme Court judgment in Internet and Mobile Association of India versus Reserve Bank of India, 1920, 4th March, the RBI banned the financial institutions and banks to give access to the crypto exchanges and freeze their accounts because they were dealing in the cryptocurrencies. They were accepting Indian currency for crypto trading. That ban was challenged in Supreme Court by Internet Mobile Association of India. And finally, the bench of Justice V. Ramasubramanian. Interestingly, I want to share with you that in 2018, we organized a mega international global conference wherein participants from 16 countries participated at Hyderabad, and coincidentally Justice V. Ramasubramaniam, who was the then senior most judge of the Andhra and Telangana High Court, was the chief guest. And I assured him that, sir, we are not advocating or propagating cryptocurrencies, because at that time the ecosystem or the environment was not friendly to the cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin. There was a representative from Reserve Bank of India, and V. Ramasubramanian, who was the chief guest, in his inaugural address mentioned that I have accepted this invitation because they are talking about the education in the crypto currencies, and they are not dealing in cryptocurrencies. And the same V. Ramasubramaniam, Honorable Justice Ramasubramaniam, who was elevated to the Supreme Court, wrote this historic judgment. What was deliberated in our conference, 2 days conference, I think that must have helped him in writing his judgment. That's, by the way, information I have shared with you. Now, after that judgment, the volume of crypto trading in India has increased. Currently, there are more than 100 million worth of US dollar transactions in Indian crypto exchanges. It has grown 15 to 20 times. The draft bill banning of cryptocurrency and regulation of official digital currency bill 2021. Official digital currency here means central bank digital currency. That has been put on hold for time being, and RBI has also come out with a regulatory sandbox. Let some new experiments be done with the cryptocurrencies. They will be put under the regulatory sandbox until the final law is made. The Subhash Garg committee, recently I read in the Economic Times 2 days back, that they have modified their stand and they are ready to regulate rather than put a blanket ban. So this is a favorable news from crypto perspective, that government is also realizing that cryptocurrencies have come to stay, and we have to regulate it with proper safeguards. Now, the RBI and central government has admitted that cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, are legal in India unless the proposed bill is enacted into law. So today it is not illegal, but officially there is no formal law to deal with the issues relating to it. However, the income tax authorities are issuing notices to those who are dealing in cryptocurrencies for levying the capital gain tax, as we have capital long-term and short-term capital gain tax. So cryptocurrencies are also subject to long-term and short-term capital gain for their tradings. Now, what are the major challenges? But before that, let me share with you. The crimes related to cryptocurrencies have also increased. Money laundering, crypto frauds. There have been a lot of, recently in South Africa, there was one of the major crypto theft, because our wallets or exchanges, they have been hacked despite all safety features, and the cryptocurrency, the coins, the tokens have been stolen. And since they are in virtual mode, there is no central authority. It's very difficult to track them. They are used, the currency is used for narco terror funding, ransomware attack, crypto exchanges hacks. There are crypto heists, there are darknet hackers. They can enter into your wallet and take away your crypto holdings. And incidentally, because Bitcoin is the most valuable cryptocurrency, so it is used for close to 95% of cryptocurrency crimes. So that is the most worrisome aspect globally. And countries are putting their system, investigation system in US, in Europe, there are stringent norms and technology is being used to detect and investigate those crimes, but still that is a big challenge. Now, the major challenges, I would say, is regulatory uncertainty. This is the first major challenge, and we at ILTAS have been arguing time and again on various fora that we need a proper regulatory, because it's a new age financial instrument. It is not controlled by central regulatory authority. Therefore, we need a proper KYC based regulatory ecosystem, and not only country specific, but a global policy, a global regulatory framework like we have in intellectual property or in use of C kind of thing, so that the uncertainty of cryptocurrencies is cleared and crypto adoption becomes faster. Privacy, because hackers are there and a lot of information is loaded on blockchain technology. So privacy, data protection is one of the most important issue. In India, we have a private data protection bill in offing, but in Europe and America, specifically, I would refer Europe, General Data Protection Regulation of 2017, amended subsequently, is a strong law where the private data is jealously guarded. In India also, we have seen the social media, Facebook, now MetaBook, they are all engaged WhatsApp in privacy violation. So that is another thing. Security and safety is a major challenge. Again, it is associated because our cyber security system is still not that strong, and we have to make it very strong. That is a major concern. And because of the poor cyber security architecture, the hackers are able to hijack or enter into the criminal activities. Illegal use of cryptocurrencies, I have just mentioned, or narco-terrorism or other kind of ransomware attack, and then other activity. High volatility. This is again a major issue. In last 4 months, 3 to 4 months, Bitcoin has moved in the range of 30,000 US dollar, 60, and even highest price was 66,000 US dollar. This kind of volatility is not good for any business activity. It seems that there are some big sharks who are underground in artificial rise and fall of cryptocurrencies. There are some forces which are artificially creating the price mechanism, and that is not good for the health of the future growth of the cryptocurrencies. Taxation. Naturally, when people are gaining or losing the money by investing or trading in cryptocurrencies, they are liable to the taxation like other taxation, other income. So that has to be clarified, and for that we have to properly categorize, classify the nature of transactions, whether it is even for transfer. We have a Transfer of Property Act, we have an Income Tax Act, we have corporate laws, we have intellectual property laws. So all these laws have to be realigned once we properly recognize the cryptocurrencies either as a currency, or as a commodity, or as a digital asset, or as a goods. Scalability. Still, we are using the technology, which is blockchain technology, and there are many hurdles in the blockchain technology also. That technology has to be upgraded. For payment system, we have to make it still faster. So some technological innovations have been done. There are a lot of blockchain softwares which are constantly working in upgradation of technology, but it is a constant effort that needs to be done. Traceability is another big, because it is peer-to-peer transactions. There is no record maintained by any centralized authority. Therefore, to trace the transaction, it is there on the blockchain. Of course, if you can crack the blockchain, if you can crack the blocks, you can reach to the originator of the transaction. But that is very difficult. That is cryptographed. That is protected by a hash function. Therefore, it is very difficult to trace the illegal transactions which are taken place using cryptocurrencies and environmental hazards. Because mining of cryptocurrency requires a lot of mining farms and constant running of high power computing power. So use of electricity is very much there. And that results into farming. The emissions which are done results into environmental hazard is also a cause of concern. Now, these are the issues which I have just put for considerations. And now we move on to quickly and briefly digital currency. As I said, central bank digital currency is a virtual form of country's fiat currency. It is issued and regulated by a nation's monetary authority or central bank. It promotes financial inclusion. Even cryptocurrencies and central bank digital currency also help to reach to those people who are not within the financial inclusions. Even our Honorable Prime Minister launched the Jan Dhan Khata. The aim, every person should have a bank account so that all benefits, all subsidies or all transfers, benefit are transferred into the account of a person. Still, when we go globally, we find still a large chunk of population is out of financial inclusion. So this cryptocurrencies as well as central bank digital currency help in financial inclusions. It is a centralized form of currency, and it may erode privacy of citizens possibly. Although they are not formally being used, many countries are exploring. Still, the Japan has come out with the digital yuan. US is coming out with the digital dollar. Our pilot project is also going on, and as per the Reserve Bank of India statement, probably in the month of December, some experiments can be done with the central bank digital currency. So the experiments are going on. There are certain pros and cons of digital currency. Still, they are in nascent stage. Centralization still remains the main feature. And at present, 81 countries, including India, which represent 90% of the global GDP, are exploring to create digital currency, central bank digital currency. Now, there are certain pros and cons of digital currency. It simplifies, the pros are, the advantages are, simplifies the implementation of monetary policy and governmental functions, eliminate the third-party risk, calibrate the privacy features, allow the inclusion of the unbanked, those who are unbanked, prevents illicit activity, which is a major charge for cryptocurrencies, and also it will help in reducing the cost of printing the currency, because currently we are using the physical currency, fiat currency, in the physical form, and there is a heavy cost of printing the money. That will become easier when we convert a physical money, a fiat currency, into digital currency. But there are certain demerits also. Does not solve the problem of centralization. Still, we have to be dependent on the central authority. User may have to give up some degree of privacy. Legal and regulatory issues are a black hole. Still, because it is a new experimental currency, so still proper regulatory framework, same for cryptocurrency as a digital currency, is still not in place. Could substitute a weaker country's currency. Weaker country's currency can be eliminated with the use of digital currency. Now, is there any relation between CBDC and cryptocurrency? No, not directly. Some of the major difference is, as I said, include CBDC use a permission blockchain network, while a cryptocurrency use a permissionless. because central bank digital currency will be created by government. So it is a centralized authority, and they will use the blockchain, which is permission, which is private, not public. We cannot become part of that blockchain and mine or create the digital currency. Only in cryptocurrency, anybody can join the public blockchain. Initially, the Bitcoin blockchain is a public blockchain, which is also known as permissionless. So anybody can join and try mining the cryptocurrency. The identity of CBDC user is known while the cryptocurrency remains anonymous. In cryptocurrency, it is a peer-to-peer direct transfer. There is no central authority, so identity is not there. Only when you transact through the crypto exchanges and not directly, and you are registered there, your KYC is there, you can be identified. Otherwise, it is not possible. But in CBDC, the identity is there because it is done through the governmental or banking authority. The issuing authority like central bank will decide on the rules for CBDC, while the crypto network, the users control the network by making consensus decision. As I said, they use public blockchain, so which is a trustless, or we call trust in trustless, because it is distributed. It is across the nodes. So they decide the rules of the permissionless blockchain. At the moment, CBDC can only be used for payment, transactions, and other wholesale activities. It is still a debate going on. 2 days back, there was a very interesting article in Economic Times discussing these aspects, that where and how we can use the digital currency, the government digital currency, for what purposes. Basically, the government can use it for payments, large payments. They need not to use physical currency for governmental transactions and other wholesale activities, whereas cryptocurrency can be used as a payment as well as speculative investment assets. But finally, we can say that both can coexist. There is no dispute, there is no overlapping, or there is no confrontation between CBDC and cryptocurrency. Both have their own merits, both can exist simultaneously. And finally, I'm coming to the future roadmap. These are the issues we need to address for future adoption of cryptocurrencies or digital currency. First of all, we must have a globally acceptable crypto policy framework. There is a need for uniform, because it's a global currency. Specifically, I'm talking of cryptocurrency, not central bank digital currency. It's a global currency. It's a new financial instrument which can be used across the world without any middleman. So we need a uniform global policy for its use, adoption, and other areas. Regulatory framework. We have been always arguing that not only we need a country-specific law, but we need a global consensus, minimum standard of regulatory framework, whether the world would treat it as a commodity or as a coin or as a token or what. So it is better if we have a global legal framework in place. Of course, the countries can further make necessary changes depending upon their country's requirement. Robust cybersecurity architecture, as I said, to prevent illegal use, to prevent cyber cryptocurrency thefts, hacking. We need a robust cybersecurity architecture that is necessary for all, because our use of cyber space is increasing manifold. We are using cyberspace, internet in huge volume. Therefore, cybersecurity has to be very strong, and for that we have to create a strong architecture. That is must when we are dealing with the currencies or other issues. Mass adoption of blockchain technology. Blockchain technology is gaining momentum, no doubt. Its use and its various variants, public blockchain and private blockchain, Hyperledger and other, they are being used and explored. There are new softwares coming up, but it will take some more time for mass adoption of this blockchain technology. As we may say that today, I think every person has a mobile penetration, every person has a internet services available. Even we have internet and mobile penetration, our emails and other accounts. So with that level, we have to adopt the industry, the trade, they have to adopt blockchain technology. Then it will gain more recognition. Mass adoption of cryptocurrencies. I have shown you that number of international giants, they are accepting cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin. So more and more adoption is there. It will gain more and more recognition and more stability. So that is connected. Elimination and reduction of speculative practices. This has to be ensured. If more and more speculations are there, then people will lose faith in business practices. Even in share markets, we recognize that there is some speculative practices, but the kind of speculation is witnessed in crypto segments that is not good for the health of crypto adoption. Scaling up innovation. More and more innovative practices would help in larger transactions of cryptocurrencies and adoption of blockchain, that is for both. Gearing up of crime detection and punishment machinery. At global level, we have to coordinate, we have to create a framework of investigation like Interpol and other institutions where the cryptocurrency thefts can be, or cryptocurrency related crimes can be investigated, and there is a need for international cooperation in this regard. And finally, education and training. I think this lecture might be a small contribution in educating about these two most important new age financial instruments which are going to impact our life in time to come. So education, and I think this education must start right from the school level to the university and to other institutions, and HMA and other institutions, they can play significant role. Industry academia collaborations can play significant role in propagating, in educating the people, our young students, young entrepreneurs, that how they can take advantage of these new age technology and new age financial instruments. I think with these words, I conclude, and I hope I have tried. Of course, the subject is very vast, and other technical and legal dimensions which I might not have been able to cover, but in available time framework, rather I have exceeded some time, but I have tried to convey and discuss with you some of the key aspects of these two areas, these cryptocurrencies and central bank digital currency. I once again thank HMA, its entire team, and my friend Professor Ravi Jain for giving me this opportunity. And I'm open and look forward to such more opportunities to share my views on different dimensions of this technology. Thank you very much. Now I'm open for, I think there are 28 comments in chat box I can see. I'm open to the response. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Sir, thank you, Dr. Bhandari ji. I think it has been a really fascinating session that we had. You have definitely overshot, but I think none of us grumble for that. We really have been deeply immersed in your talk, where you brought the nuances of all this new financial instrument, which of course has got greater implications in the future. I think you have structured your talk so well, And I think you have talked on almost every aspect. Probably even a novice probably has gotten some of the insights into what exactly is this cryptocurrency, Bitcoins, and the related aspects. Of course, the applications are going to be huge, which, as you rightly said, still it is in the nascent stage. I think all of my friends around sitting across in different places will agree with my words and say that Dr. Bhandari has held us for this 1 hour, 20 minutes time in a very breathless way. Sir, we are really short of time, and with the request from several members who raised few questions, I'll probably ask only few of them so that we'll not take much of the time. This topic being new, we'll definitely have some more opportunities, and I'm sure, sir, we'll be inviting you once again with probably a little more insights into these aspects.
I'm at your disposal. Thank
you very much.
Yeah.
So one question which was raised by one of the participants, Ms. Neelam Murali. What is the preparedness of the banks in future regarding this aspect where there is a insurge into this digitalization, into the crypto, and then the government regulation? In fact, sir, you mentioned it while you're talked about it. Recently, when we had this All India Management Association conference, we was held by IMA Delhi. The chief guest was the governor of RBI, Shaktikant Das himself. And he also mentioned this, that there are certain issues which are now being tackled and are being referred to the parliament for the government to take a view on that. So definitely there are issues, and there are, the bright points and there are difficult points too. Now the madam has asked one question, is saying that how prepared are the banks to meet this new financial instrument or new activity? There's one thing, sir. And how flexible is this cryptocurrency? These are two questions she has raised. Sir, can you please?
Sure. So far as banks are concerned, my knowledge, I can say that now banks, specifically State Bank of India, SDFC, Yes Bank, ICICI Bank, the leading bankers, both public and private, they have formed a consortium for adoption of blockchain technology. And so far as cryptocurrency is concerned, blockchain adoption, government is also very much keen. And even our Telangana and Andhra government have already utilized a blockchain platform for keeping land record. Now the Telangana is also doing it. For dynamic IT minister, they are collaborating with various stakeholders, and Andhra also have done it. Maharashtra is doing, are putting all government records, some institutions, university, because I am connected with two blockchain applications on Asli Medicine and Asli document, forgetting the name. So far as blockchain is concerned, banks are very proactive. They are ready to engage their resources and expertise. They are creating expertise for blockchain adoption. For cryptocurrencies, certainly banks won't invest as of now. Although in World Bank, IMF, they have invested as a hedge fund. They have used Bitcoin as a hedge fund. But in India, because banks are controlled by RBI, and RBI is not very clear about the legal aspect of cryptocurrencies. Therefore, banks won't venture into investing into the cryptocurrencies. But certainly now banks are operating the exchanges accounts of the Indian exchanges, and crypto trading is going on. The individuals or the business houses, those who are interested and those who have a risk appetite. There is one question I'm able to see, and I'll also answer that. See, the cryptocurrency investment is not for a common man. I would say, if you ask me, not for me. I may educate, I may know about the cryptocurrency various aspects, but for an average person, I would say for a person with a middle income group, cryptocurrency investment is highly risky. And one should, if even somebody wants to do it, should do it in a very calibrated and cautious manner. Number one thing. banks are not investing in cryptocurrencies. Banks are doing well. They are adopting blockchain technologies. As soon as the Reserve Bank or the Indian Parliament and they take a clear stand of regulating the mode of regulating, what will be the mode of regulating? Probably, inverted comma, probably financial institutions may also venture into investment or trading in cryptocurrency, as banks are doing in shares. Banks are having their own shares. Now in America recently, the exchange traded fund ETF has been launched. It has been recognized by the Security Exchange Commission, and that has given a boost to the crypto trading. So some kind of development may also take place in India in near future. This is what my understanding of the subject is concerned. As of now, banks or any public institution is not investing in cryptocurrencies.
Yes, thank you, sir. I think you have answered the question very well, sir. One question which I would like to probably put, combining few of the questions asked by some of the participants. So one side we said crypto, this blockchain technology which is used for the bitcoins or the cryptocurrency is very robust and safe. We also find that there are going to be frauds. Now these are two contrary things, the other side or two sides of the coin. And even one of the data that I have seen states that Nigeria has the highest amount of cryptocurrency. Now, what does it really? What sort of signal does it send, sir? Does it say that there is Nigeria? We know pretty well most of the financial frauds do happen from there. And this is what is the general talk. Everyone talks about it. So, how contrasting these two things are, and really, how do you really correlate this?
Yes, a very interesting question, and it must be asked. I said that cryptocurrency creation and transactions is secured. But what happens if somebody enters into your house? You can lock your house, you can make double locking, all security features you can do with your wallet. If somebody has cracked your wallet by violating or by entering into the dark net or stealing your data, banks are, it is like that. We do internet banking, and banks are taking all possible safety measures like sending of OTP before validation of transactions. RBI is also every day, even in KBC, Amitabh Bachchan, our legendary actor, he educates that Savdhan rahiye, satark rahiye. So when we are dealing in cryptocurrencies, we have to be very cautious. We should not disclose our password, that is the private key. Should not forget our private key because it's a highly volatile instrument. And if we do that, sometimes maybe because of our negligence or our ignorance, and sometimes because of the access of the dark net, the hackers into our system, into my wallet, then possibility of that is there. That is why I have simultaneously said that more and more we are exposing ourselves to cryptocurrency transactions, trading, investment. We have to make our cyber security more robust, more foolproof. So it is, nothing is foolproof in the life. Somewhere there is every attack and counter attack, check and balance. But still our cyber security system is fragile. And that is why we find that there are a lot of cyber crimes on social media, on our mobile, in banking transactions. This risk further increases when we are dealing in the cryptocurrencies. Therefore, cryptocurrencies per se are secured. Its mining is secured. Blockchain technology is secured. But the cyber attacks, it is not immune to cyber attack. Because cyber experts, the hackers, they are one step ahead. There are check and balances. The technology is evolving. And that is why I generally say that person who is novice, person who is not well versed, should not enter into crypto. Anybody can do bank FD. Anybody can now buy and sell shares. Or even in share market, we also suggest that it is better to go via mutual fund route, which is less risky. So this cryptocurrency is a risky game for a common man. I would underline, for a common man. Those who are players, those who are well versed in the technology, those who are expert, they can do it, and they are doing it. But these risks of cyber threats are always there, provided we are not properly safeguarding our interests. From that perspective, they are susceptible to all these cyber crimes like theft or heist, and then at the underline of it, I would just say it is the human greed. Because now I get a lot of calls even from our young friends. Sir, I want to invest in cryptocurrency. Which wallet I should use? Even other day, my friend who has got a good retirement corpus, he said, sir, should I invest in cryptocurrency? अभी तो बहुत भाव तेज चल रहा है, अभी 50,000 हो गया, अभी 60,000 हो गया. और मैंने कहा भैया आपकी कुल 70-80 लाख रुपए की कमाई हुई है, आप 2 बिटकॉइन में गंवा दोगे इसको. तो ये हमारे लिए नहीं है. Is your life earned money? You will have to pull on your whole remaining life. So please don't go into such a adventurous investment. It is not for we people, because we do not know. You are not knowing. Even I don't claim that I know all the intricacies of the Bitcoin investment unless I read and I understand and I discuss with others. So those lapses can make us victim of those frauds. That's my point.
I think very valuable suggestion, sir. I think so when we look at the price of a Bitcoin, I think I've just seen the net, it is a 46 lakhs in Indian currency.
Yes.
$1, yes.
63,000, 61,000 US dollar. You multiply by 75, so comes close to the 45, 46. It's fluctuating. Today it is one price, other day it will be another price.
So your answer, what you mentioned, will also answer a question. So somebody said, can we take it as a business? Probably thinking like a share market. I don't know, sir.
I don't think so. No, we should not. Unless you have millions and millions of rupees in your account and you don't mind, even if you lose, suppose tomorrow the price comes to 40,000 US dollar. One thing I can tell you, gradually we have been monitoring or observing the price trends. It has been increasing after a fall. After one major fall, it is again coming. Now people are saying it will touch $1 million, or at least in near future $1 lakh. Now that is the temptation which prompts anybody. But as I said, the people like us who have a limited resources, in my opinion, I don't suggest. But if people who have enough money and who don't mind even if they lose 5, 10, 15 lakh rupees, they have a possibility of gain. If you are ready for losses, you are likely to earn the gain. That is a simple money funda. Business का फंडा है, आपको रिस्क लेनी पड़ेगी. अगर आप जितनी रिस्क लेते हैं, उस प्रपोर्शन में आपको प्रॉफिट भी हो सकता है. पर अगर लॉस होता है, तो it should not impact your financial health. तो उसको डे टू डे ट्रेडिंग में तो मैं सजेस्ट नहीं करता हूं, but in a minuscule form, you may start with say 1 lakh rupees gradually, because it is available. You did not to buy one Bitcoin. The minimum unit of Bitcoin is Satoshi. Even if you start with 10,000 rupees, you will get that amount of Bitcoin in your. Now, even in USA and other countries, they issue the card, like debit and credit card. It will be stored in your card, and you can use ATM. There are Bitcoin ATMs in Europe. Here also in Bangalore, one exchange dared it, but the government, because at that time the hostile environment was there. So I told him that you are doing the wrong thing and you will be booked unnecessarily. He said, no, I will do it. So the other day the police came and they dismantled the ATM. He was going to provide ATM services. That is why in India, I again emphasize that we need a clear regulatory framework. Once regulations are clear, then probably those who have an appetite and those who have funds at their disposal may enter into in a calibrated manner, in a systematic manner.
Many may fear, sir, that there will be a tax implication and a good amount of money will go away in the form of tax once it gets regulated or goes through an exchange, which now is happening without.
Why this we don't talk when we sell and buy the house. This we don't talk when we sell and buy shares. We have to pay the tax. Tax is always on your income. Even if you have a losses, you can have a set off against the gains. That's the established income. So see, if we are talking about the income without coming into the tax bracket, probably we are talking wrong. We are talking not legally permissible things. So if one is doing, that is why the exchanges are ready to bring KYC norms. That will be the minimum regulation, that everybody who is trading in cryptocurrencies will have to open an account with the exchange, giving the all details like KYC norms, your PAN card, Aadhaar card, and other things, bank account number linked with that. But problem is, because it is a peer-to-peer, still today, there are a number of people who have wallets in their account and they are directly purchasing it from US Binance exchange, selling it again to US Binance exchange, transferring that, because there is no central authority in between, from wallet to wallet, from wallet to exchange, from exchange to wallet, and its difficulty is how to capture that. That is where the government is still not very clear how we will monitor cryptocurrency transactions, because there is no control from our side. It's globally exchangeable, tradable commodity or instrument. So how they will do it? That is a big challenge, and where they are taking experts' opinion that if we regulate it, if we regularize it, how we will capture the transactions in our record, so that we can levy the taxes, or if there are illegal transactions, we can investigate and punish. That is a big challenge.
So thank you, sir. With your kind permission, one last question is that what would be the cost of a blockchain mining software? One of our members, Mr. Rajendra Prasad, is asking this question, sir.
See, I cannot give you a specific reply to this, because it all depends upon your purpose. See, blockchain is, if you are a 10 persons exchanging, or 100 persons, 50 persons in a group, in a company, and you are exchanging information, you don't need a blockchain kind of thing. But if you are 10,000 people with a lot of branches across the world, across the country, and you have a lot of transactions to do, you may need a particular blockchain software which suits your requirement. Either you're in supply chain, you are in manufacture, you are in financial services, you are in educational services. So it depends upon your requirement, and accordingly you will buy and upload the software. As I mentioned, there are a lot of softwares, programs like R3, Corda, IBM blockchain, which is for larger global transactions, Hyperledger, which is a combination of so many blockchain programs. So it all depends upon a requirement, and accordingly the price will vary. So once you decide your requirement, you can always contact those who are into the blockchain software programs, and they will be able to. I can't say that it will be 10,000 rupees or 50,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees. I can't give a straightway answer to this.
Thank you, sir. Nice. I would really thank you once again, sir. I think you have taken several questions. You have overshot the time, spent your valuable time. I would only mention Mr. Anupam Tiwari has also mentioned about this bank consortium regarding the bank digitization.
Anupam Tiwari is our very good friend, and he's associated in a lot of research, and he's very much, we take his services whenever we have to go deep into the technology, because I am not that conversant with the technology. My domain is basically legal and other aspects. So Anupam Tiwari, yes, are you there, Anupam? So yes, he told that he will join. Yes. So
he's there.
Yeah, thank you, Anupam, for joining. Hope I have done justice with the namaste.
Yes,
justice with the theme.
Yeah.
So
sir, absolutely.
He's a highly knowledgeable and research-oriented friend of mine.
I really appreciate your time, sir. You spared so much of valuable time. I won't take much of your time, and I also thank the August audience who sat all the time. The attendance was almost constant, sir. No one has
Yes, yes,
moved,
yes.
really not moved.
I-
It only shows that we got stuck on the screen that you've been talking about. May I request our honorary secretary, Sri Dr. Ravi Jain Garu, to please propose the vote of thanks on behalf of HMA. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ramchandra Garu. In fact, you have done the job of thanking Professor Bhandari. But let me, complete the ceremonial process of extending my gratitude on behalf of HMA, all the members of HMA, members of the management committee, president, vice president, secretary, and other esteemed MC members who are on the in the meeting. A great thanks for sparing your valuable time on a weekend. And in fact, this was such a vibrant session, and I was, the number of questions and queries coming in, we could have extended by another hour or so. And we had an interesting session yesterday also, like the same way. So I think, that shows the kind of currency of topics that we are bringing onto the table. And people like you coming onto the forum is actually enriching HMA also. And we look forward to your active participation in HMA in future endeavors of HMA. Thank you so much, sir. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you all. I too will be keen to participate in your activities and contribute my. Thank you, Professor Ravi. Thank you all. Namaskar. Good night.
Good night. And happy Diwali, sir.
Happy Diwali. Yes, yes.
All
Happy
of you.
Diwali to each one of you.
Happy Diwali to one and all.
Yeah.
Celebrate
Please take
life and
care.
have a sparkling
We are
Diwali.
still in the net of COVID, not gone. So please take care. I think most of us are also senior citizens. So please take care, enjoy with your family, and may the Diwali bring prosperity and joy to each one of us.
Great. Thank you.
Namaskar.
Professor Bhandari, I am from the listener's side. My name is Neelam Murli Kishore. Many thanks for your wonderful presentation. It is so understandable. So slowly you have given such a good information. We are thankful to you, sir. So nice.
kind of-
Please come back again.
So kind of you. I feel rewarded, and thank you very much for the
Great.
kind words.
So, Karthik, we can call off the meeting now. Thank you so much.
దీపావళి శుభాకాంక్షలు సార్ మీకు
Deepavali Subhakanksal, sir.
Namaste, Vishwanath.
Nagesh Garu,
Okay, sir. Namaskar.
Yes, sir.
Good
Happy
night.
Diwali.
Yes, sir.
Good night to everybody.
Happy Diwali. Good night,
Thank
everybody.
you.